Hey folks, what's up? I haven't done a movie review in a while. In fact, I've not really been here on YouTube for quite a while because I've been so wrapped up in work, and the heat wave that we've got in the UK right now is just fucking killing me. It's totally drained me out, and I've not been in the mood to do anything now long, make movies, you know, which I enjoy doing here on YouTube. You know, I just usually like to stay indoors, you know, when it's this hot, you know, it's just suffocating me. It puts the place habit with my hay fever. And, well, that's beyond the point. It's got nothing to do with this video. If you hear a bit of buzzing in the background, it's a fan in the background because I'm trying to get cool. What can you do if you're staying indoors? You know, watch a film. You know, and I got a film request from a subscriber of mine on YouTube who's a big Batman fan. And he politely asked me if I could do a review on Batman Begins, which came out in the year of 2005. What are you doing to me, man? Okay, right off the bat, I'm going to put it straightforward and simple. I do not like this movie. Yes, you heard me. I don't like Batman Begins. I know that's going to upset a lot of people in the fan base. That's going to upset a lot of people who have clicked on this video, you know, intrigued about what I'm about to say. But part of the reason why I don't like Batman Begins is because of the fucking fan base. I mean, Batman is like a huge famous superhero, basically. You know, and it's got a fan base that is just as fucked up as anything. Like, the WWE has a fucked up fan base. You know, and, oh shit. Let me turn this off because the blinds are blowing. Hold on a moment. Bear with me one moment. That's a bit better. Now, as I was saying, the Batman fan base is kind of like the WWE fan base fucked up. Because you've got all these fans that are fucking weird cunts. You know, because they're sending death threats, they're sending hate mail, all because a different person who's a fan of one they're into, but they have a different opinion. My opinion is Batman Begins, it's not like a very terrible movie, but the movie just bores me to death. I mean, when I think of Batman, I like to remember Batman for how it was originally. I love the first Batman movie that Tim Burton made. I love Batman Returns that Tim Burton also made. The Batman Returns is my favourite Batman movie out of the whole franchise. You know, where you got Michael Keaton playing Batman, Michelle Pfeiffer playing Catwoman, Danny DeVito playing the Penguin. Great cast. And what was so remarkable about that movie is that it seemed like every character really loved working together. Everything pulled off. They all had a great time, you could tell, and all of them were really into their characters. Michael Keaton, you know, people keep saying that Christian Bale is the best Batman. I fucking disagree. I think not putting Christian Bale down, but in my opinion, Michael Keaton is the Batman. Michael Keaton is the best Batman. His presence, the way he talks, the way he looks, the way he fights, the way he expresses himself. You know, with this dark nature and these dark Batman movies. That's the Batman that I like to remember by. The first two Batman movies, where the first movie where you got Jack Nicholson playing the Joker, it's a great movie, but I like Batman Returns even more. After that, the movies became real silly because Tim Burton didn't come back to direct, and they kind of went for like a kids superhero movie where you had Batman Forever. Again, great cast. You had Tommy Lee Jones. You had Jim Carrey playing the Riddler, you know. Batman and Robin, that had to be the most childish, most colourful Batman movie I've ever fucking seen. Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. Oh my god, what a load of bollocks. I think Poison Ivy was the only best thing about that movie. Can you imagine her if Tim Burton directed, how sexy she would be? How sexual she'd be and all that kind of shit. Really fucking interesting. But after that you get to this movie in 2005, Batman Begins. I'm sorry guys, this movie, bored me. It bored me back then. And it bored me moments ago after just watching it, while trying to get through it. I remember when I first watched this in 2005, I put this movie on. Granted, there's a few dibs and dabs of things I was impressed by, but it wasn't enough to save the whole fucking movie. I liked it. I liked the fact it went back to like a bit of a dark nature. It's darker than Batman Forever. It's definitely way better and darker than Batman and Robin. But again, it just wasn't enough to save the whole fucking movie. I mean, credits, again, great cast. You got, like I say, you had Michael Caine in this movie, who took over the role of Alfred. You got Christian Bale as Batman. Speaking of Alfred, Anthony Hopkins was offered the role, but he turned it down because he didn't want to do it. You got Liam Neeson, and I like Liam Neeson. I liked him in The Haunting when he made that horror movie with Lily Taylor, Catherine Zeta-Jones and Owen Wilson. No one liked that film, but I liked it. Again, you got Katie Holmes as Rachel Dawes, Gary Oldman, and you also had Cillian Murphy, who played the Scarecrow. Another thing I liked about the film, like I said, as part of the dibs and dabs, like I've already mentioned, the Scarecrow I liked. I thought he was like a cool looking villain and all that. But again, not enough to save the film, as I keep on mentioning. What I didn't like about this movie is I can't help but compare it to the previous movies that I enjoyed. When you look back at Batman Returns, the way Michael Keaton is fighting off all the clowns, all the bad guys, he does an excellent job. Trying to make it look brutal, effective. Even when he's doing simple things with the gadgets, he's like making it like really affectionate, and he's like making it really convincing. I thought the fight scenes in this movie, Batman Begins, were really messy. Messy up to the point where you don't even know what the fuck's going on. And I could care less about the background story to Bruce Wayne. I know after witnessing his parents' death in a mugging at the age of 8, travelling the world 7 years before returning home to inherit his family's company, Wayne Enterprises, how he became the Batman, and that dragged for quite a while. So what's kind of sad about this movie is, although Batman is the leading role, he's like the least interesting character, and he's the main role in this. I don't like the look of the Batman suit in this movie. I think it looks chunky and out of place. Whereas going back to Michael Keaton's Batman suit, it's just perfect. With the six-pack and like the way it looks with the leather and all that, and like it looks really intimidating and dark. Where this movie looked really out of place with the Batman suit, really chunky and big ass, that kind of look. But like I say, it's hard to imagine this movie's 20 years old already. I mean, like I say, it came out in the year of 2005. In fact, I'm just looking on it right now. Its official release date, well, it was released on different dates for all over the world. It was released on May 31st in Tokyo in 2005. United States, it was released on June 15th of 2005. And it was released right here in the United Kingdom of June 17th of 2005. Again, a running time, 140 minutes, this movie. Does the movie really need to be that long? A budget of $150 million and made $375.4 million at the box office. Wow. I mean, what more do you talk about? How can you put more into a movie that bores you? Like I said, I watched this movie for the first time in 2005 when it first came out, and I turned it off like halfway through. Because I was that bored, I was that uninterested in what was going on. I just simply turned it off. And I just got done watching it moments ago and actually watched it all the way through. Hard to believe this movie was on for 140 minutes, but I got through it. I eventually got through it, and I hardly remember anything that happened. Like I say, I like the look of the Scarecrow. I'll list the positive facts about this movie. The cast. The look of the Scarecrow. The dark nature. Those are the only leading facts. I mean, let's talk about Gotham, for example. I didn't even like the look of Gotham in this movie. Again, look back at Tim Burton's version of fucking Gotham, where it looks really dark, mysterious, and the atmosphere, all the fog in the streets, and like when Selena Kyle in Batman Returns is like in that snowy atmosphere when she's being bitten by all the cats. You know, it really was really well put together, and it was very interesting, you know, really well thought through. This one, I mean, who was this directed by again? Christopher Nolan. That's right, and that really rings a bell, Christopher Nolan. Just looking at some of the films he's made in the past. Yeah, he made The Following in 1998. I've not seen that movie. I forgot he did The Dark Knight in 2008 and The Dark Knight Rises in 2012. Speaking of those movies, I have seen The Dark Knight. I've only seen that once in 2008. People give kudos to that film all because of Heath Ledger, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Batman Begins, I mean, I prefer The Dark Knight over Batman Begins, you know, but Dark Knight, again, I've no care for it, and I've not seen The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight is okay, it's an okay film. I think it was overhyped. And don't get me wrong, it's good, but it wasn't as good as the first two Batman movies, in my opinion. You'll never get me to believe in a million years that Christian Bale is a way better Batman than Michael Keaton. You know, granted he's better than George Clooney, you know what I mean? But you'll never get me to believe in a million years that he is the Batman. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. People can send in all the hate mail, the death threats, and all that kind of shit, but all because they have a different opinion about who the better Batman was. Most of these people are, you know, weird cunts who have got a mental issue that belong in a fucking psychiatrist ward somewhere. You know, they need fucking Prozac or Zoloft or something and a high dosage of it, you know, to fucking get their point across. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with people? It's like the WWE fan base fucked up. But overall, everyone, if you like this movie, that's fine. But to me, it was just so uninteresting. Like I said, there's a few dibs and dabs and positive facts about this movie, which I've already stated. I'm not going to repeat those. But there was just more negativity, in my opinions, than there was positive ones. And then when you got more negativity about a film than positive views, but you know you're not going to like the movie. So that's my issue with this movie. It was just boring. You know what I mean? Messy fight scenes. Don't like the look of Gotham. Don't like the look of the Batman suit. Christian Bale, no disrespect to him, a good actor, but he's no Michael Keaton. Like I say, I like Michael Caine, but I think the other actor who played Alfred was the more perfect fitting. But I understand he passed away. I understand that. But and if you're going to pick anybody to replace Alfred, you know, Michael Caine's a good choice. Although it would have been interesting what Anthony Hopkins would have brought to the table, but he didn't want to do it, so. Okay. I'm going to wrap this up now, everyone, but I'm just going to say this to my subscriber. How can you review a movie that just bores you to death? How can you go into detail about it based on your other reviews? You just can't. Like I say, I'm glad I've got this out of the way, and I'm glad I've put everyone in the picture about this. So, overall, on the whole, the first two Batman movies are the best. Forever, okay. 4, terrible. This one, boring. You know, so that's all I've got to say about it. I prefer to remember Batman from Tim Burton's vision, you know, and I really do hope that in the future we see Tim Burton come back. I mean, he stopped coming back for a reason. I mean, Michael Keaton didn't want to do Batman Forever because Tim Burton didn't come back, you know, so, or due to all the complaints about the Batman movies being too dark, apparently. Apparently they got a lot of complaints at McDonald's as well because of all the toys that you got in the Happy Meals. They were too dark and they were frightening the kids or something. But thanks for watching this, everyone. Email me if you've got any questions. If you've got any requests, leave them in the comment section below. Thanks, everyone. Peace out. Bye.